Hey, Drew! Drew, I'm back! Oh, Jesus Christ, what now? Drew, every time I go away, something goes wrong. What the hell are you doing? Do you need to go to the toilet? Have you got something stuck in your throat? What? Speak to me, man!
Oh, okay, Bryce, I'm trying to learn animalese.
Alright,
I'm trying to get Filbert to come to my house. I love Filbert so much, Bryce. I miss him so much.
Listen, okay, I know you have a long, deep, sated relationship with Filbert. You need to let it go, man.
Yeah, okay. We will be reunited soon at the end of March. Don't you worry, Filbert. You'll be mine.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the House of Mario, the South Australian Nintendo podcast that is backed by a 120 Power Star rating. I'm your host, Drew Agnew, and the doors to episode 133 are open. Joining me back in the house is my best buddy, the delightful, the wonderful Bryce DeWitt. How we going, man?
I'm back!
He's back.
I'm back.
Just wonderful, Bryce.
Yeah.
So how's it feel back with the headphones on, the microphone in your gullet?
I mean, hey, look. We never had the headphones on before.
No, we didn't.
Now we've got the Roadcaster in front of us.
Yeah.
This is like a long time coming episode where we've got all this new equipment, all this nice stuff, and I haven't been back yet. So this is the first episode where we're like, right into it.
Yeah. So my new room just got carpet today. So
yeah,
that's exciting too.
Speaking of new equipment, you got nice, fresh new carpet for the room. Your walls are exuberantly white.
They are.
They're absolutely beautiful. The only thing that we don't have right now is like your desk set up and everything.
Yeah, like literally the carpet man just left, so I just folded out a table and chucked the stuff on it.
Yeah. Which reminds me, actually, that table that we're going to be using, did you end up picking that up?
Not yet. Still at Beachport.
All right. Okay,
Yeah.
we need to do that.
Yeah. There's a bit of a dust off, and the mics can just live on there. And I can just bring the Roadcaster between my two desks, depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah. So I suppose without going into hyper detail, like it's pretty empty now, but you really want to make this room look something fantabulous.
Yeah, it's going to have soundproofing and all that fun stuff.
Soundproofing, LED lighting and everything. And
yeah, so if it sounds a bit echoey at the moment, we are sorry about that because of the circumstance we're in. Last week, I didn't do the podcast last week because I had like no rooms with carpet.
Yeah.
Literally. So I'm like,
echo everywhere. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't sound too bad on our end, at least. I'm like listening through here, and it doesn't sound too bad.
Because I had it organised with Buddy Watson. We were going to talk about the Animal Crossing Direct. And I messaged him like, mate, I don't think we can do it. Too much echo, too much going on.
Yeah, you're literally like, whoa. And I mean, like, you have been pretty damn hard at work for what it's worth. So it's sort of like, well, yeah, I mean, you might as well just take that opportunity to not worry about it too much and get everything done and then stress about it later. And I mean, like, here we are.
Here we are.
I didn't watch the direct, mind you, but here we are.
Yeah, so there's going to be a lot going on this year as far as like content and that goes. Once this room's set up, we've got a lot of gear sort of coming, which will let us do a lot more things, and I'm really looking forward to it. Got nothing to say at the moment as far as that goes, but I'm excited. Are you excited, Bryce?
I'm excited to get it set up and have like a permanent home. Yeah,
the house of Mario.
rather than that.
Rather than this plastic table.
This plastic table. I mean, you can hear it when I flick.
It's like the table everybody uses at Christmas. Put on the ham, put on the cheese.
Yeah, you put like a crappy $2 plastic tablecloth over it that you can just chuck out later.
Yep.
But like, at least the next table we're on, it'll make less of a more of a, a bit more of a thud because it actually hurts the fingernail.
Hurts the fingernail. So you won't be flicking my table?
No.
That's good.
No, yeah. And I mean, if we bump it won't make so much noise too. I mean, I think that's probably going to be the biggest thing is that we've used this table for so long and we have to be so careful when we're on it every time.
Yeah.
But like when we actually get like a proper solid wooden table, we can knock it a little bit and not have to worry too much.
Yeah.
It's a little less flimsy.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, I think we both do, don't we?
Yeah, the head just falls off. Like, just all the stuff topples. Oh, You're waving to my dog. My dog's out the window, is she?
I am waving to your dog. She's staring at us. She's like, oh, Jesus Christ.
See, that's the thing. So we've been painting for the last week and a half, just like all day, every day type of thing. And the blinds have been taken down so the dog can see us. And now the dog knows we're in this room. It knows we're here. So it might... She's been pretty good, but I hope she doesn't start barking to get attention outside the window.
Yeah, to be honest, she looks pretty content.
Oh, she's pretty content. She's actually sat down. She looks pretty chill, actually.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine. She's a good dog.
She is a good dog. She's been a bit quiet lately. She's growing up to a fine young woman dog, and she's had those
going through the cycle.
And she's I think she's found it a bit hard because usually she's like super energetic. And the other day I went to the backyard. I'm like, where's Lila? And she was in a cage. She was asleep. I'm like, that is not like her.
No.
Little Jack Russell. She's got so much energy, but
yeah. Ah, well, it happens.
It does. It definitely does happen.
Happens. Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't get your dog desexed because you want puppies eventually. Well, that happens. Yeah.
You gonna have some puppies, are you?
I would like to have some puppies.
You gotta get you some breeder license.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. You have. It's ridiculous. You got to pay $70 a year just for the fact of keeping your dog's organs.
Yeah. And then you're going to pay for the breeder's license on top of it. So have fun with that.
Yeah. I think, we'll see how it goes. Anyway, so this podcast is not about my dog breeding enterprise we've got going on. This is a Nintendo podcast. So today we're going to be talking about some of the news. So we got some Pokemon news. We got a lot of news coming on. But first off, Bryce, last week, almost a week ago, we went to see the Sonic movie.
I'm just going to crack this real quick, all right?
It's not a furphy.
It is not a furphy. It is a UDL because I felt like something that was like fruity flavored.
Fruity.
There you go.
So that's a green apple.
That's nice and crisp.
That takes me back to when I was 18 or so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Drinking the green apples.
I still have one every now and then. I don't buy them very often anymore though.
See, I guess since I'm the host, I'm kind of like the sober driver. So I've just got a glass of water. I got to drive you home.
No, I'll drive myself. Thank you very much.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So the Sonic movie, Bryce, we went to see it last week. It was meant to be like, let's catch up. Let's just go and watch a movie. Something to do, something to get us out of the town and whatever. And you ended up bringing your daughter Evie, and I was sort of relieved a little bit because it's like, oh, well, we don't have to look like two weirdos just going to the Sonic movie by ourselves. No, we're taking the kid. She wants to watch it.
Yeah, she wants to watch the Sonic movie.
But really, we were the ones that wanted to see the Sonic movie.
Yeah, and I think like the thought behind that was mostly like, well, we went and saw Detective Pikachu for obvious reasons, and we loved it. And with the Sonic movie, if it was still they stuck with that bad design choice, I don't think I would have bothered.
Yeah,
for Sonic itself, like I think promoting those good choices in filmmaking or video game design or whatever it may be warrants me enough to go, okay, now I'll go see it because they deserve that recognition for actually doing something proper and not just cashing in, which was something that Uwe Boll did with video game movies for how long? 20 years?
A long time.
20 years, something like that, yeah. Like ridiculous amount of time.
So, I guess the story was like, pretty run-of-the-mill, but it was an enjoyable movie to go and watch.
It was just fun to watch, I think.
Yeah, it's just a fun movie to go and watch. Like, I wasn't expecting too much, and I got what I wanted, really, just a fun, enjoyable, kids movie, really.
Yeah.
It like I said to you, it kind of reminds me of Garfield. So the first Garfield movie back early 2000s, I can't remember now. I was like, it's 2003 actually, I think it was. Doesn't matter. But it's just like the typical thing, like I got to get to this location. It's like a bit of a trip to get there. They get there. Congratulations. The movie ends how it ends. Yeah. It's just pretty run the mill, but I enjoyed like a few of the jokes and everything in there. Yeah, and Jim Carrey was a really
Jim Carrey carries the movie.
Yeah, very Jim Carrey of himself.
Yeah, I mean, like, I couldn't think of anybody else to play like a narcissistic, evil bastard.
Yeah,
like Eggman should be portrayed, I suppose, as Jim Carrey. Like, he's perfect. You only got to look at like his old roles, like in the Cable Guy and stuff like that.
Yeah. There's a few lines that just like made me like really laugh, like the line where basically I forgot the main character's name, but the main character who isn't Sonic, basically says like, Or Jim Carrey just comes back with the line saying, what exactly was it? I'm going to butcher it to hell, but it was something along the lines of like, oh, thanks for pointing out that I was an orphan. It's just like out of nowhere. It's
yeah.
Just like, man, that's really dark.
Yeah, he said something like, something along the lines of, at least my dad took, no, he just said something along the lines of like, my dad would take me out to play catch or something like that. And he's like, thanks for pointing out I'm an orphan. Yeah. It was like very, very like undertone dark just by his own hand. Like not even just like the character delivery itself, but like him in general. Yeah. It was good though. It was like made out to be like this super evil genius that the government even themselves hated, but they used him as a last resort. Yeah. Yeah.
I like how it's like Dr. Robotnik, he sort of he works for the government. That hasn't happened in any other Sonic game or anything, I don't think. I'm not a big Sonic expert by any stretch of the imagination, but yeah. And it was funny too that like they called him Dr. Eggman just as like an insult, not actually having his name as Dr. Eggman.
That's a really good way to do it.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was a great way to do it because like Sonic calls him Eggman based on his robots because they all look like friggin' eggs.
Yeah.
Like all of them. And that just makes so much goddamn sense. And it's just like, well, before it was basically like differentiating on what region you came from, really. It's like it was either Robotnik or it was Eggman. And they didn't really have like a disparity of like which was more appropriate as a naming convention. But now it's just like, his name's Robotnik, but Sonic calls him Eggman because his robots look like eggs.
Ha.
Perfect.
The kids will love that one.
Yeah. It's good. I think maybe the movie took a little bit of a hit due to delays and extra budget that had to go into remaking Sonic and like redoing all the scenes and stuff. There was a lot of sort of pop cultural references in there that you would have heard about by now if you've been on the internet, like flossing Sonic.
Oh my god! Because in the
it wasn't once, it was twice.
Yeah. In the trailer, he did a different dance.
Yeah.
He did like, the one he does in the game. But in the movie, he does the floss. And that was the one time in the movie where I'm like, oh, no.
No.
Yeah. And then he does it again, like towards the end. I'm like, no, don't do the floss in this movie.
Yeah. That's the thing, though. They really want it to appeal to kids, and thanks to it is like a huge thing thanks to Fortnite.
Yeah.
And, you shove a reference like that in there, then they're like, look, Sonic's doing the floss, Mum! And there you go, that's what gets them the money. They're like, you should go watch the Sonic movie because he flosses. And then, that's when they get more sales.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if that's the thing that I disliked the most about the movie, that Sonic did the floss, I guess that's a good thing. Like, with movies, I'm really easy to impress. Like, not impressed, but just I go in there, I watch it, I generally enjoy it, unless it was like real trash.
I think the last two movies, so we've got Sonic and we've got Detective Pikachu, I think they are a wake-up call to like how good video game movies can be without them being just absolutely tarnished to hell. I mean, we've had video game movies that sort of last the test of the time, like Resident Evil and Tomb Raider and stuff like that. They all relatively got decent reception and stuff like that. But when it come to like the Mario Brothers movie, we all know how that turned out. And
funny,
the Mortal Kombat movie, there's a Street Fighter movie, you wouldn't even know that it existed. Like there's like a whole plethora of just like real cashed in sort of things. But I think this may be like a really good turnaround. Thanks to Detective Pikachu mostly, because they were like, oh, hey, let's just put in 100% to this movie, and then the Sonic movies come around, and they've actually listened to complaints as to not screw everything up. They fixed it up, and like, I mean, it's not as resounding as Detective Pikachu was, but there's a lot of it's pretty good, for what it's worth. It's not like 100% true to form, I guess, for Sonic, but it's close enough that it's believable.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, like it's a believable thing that could have happened to Sonic in general, not to plumbers stroll around Brooklyn with jetpack powered boots that make them jump higher, and King Koopa's just some guy with cornrows. Like,
I love that.
Oh, look, everybody.
It's so
I think everybody has like a little passionate bit of themselves with that movie, but it's not because it's like the source material. It's because it's funny because they really tried too hard to make this fit into live action.
Yeah, I think the Mario Bros movie, if you go into it like this is so bad, but it actually becomes good. Yeah, if you watch it that way, it's a good watch in that. It isn't like so bad it's actually bad.
No. Yeah. But I mean, it'll probably. I don't think it'll ever be forgotten about, but it'll be a weird contrast when what was it? Illumination Studios finishes up on the Mario Bros movie.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So thinking about these couple of movies like Detective Pikachu and Sonic, it's getting me thinking about what the Mario movie could look like in 2022 or whenever it launches. Yeah,
it also makes me wonder what else will be coming out in video game media. Obviously, like in recent times, we've had some really good stuff like Castlevania, for example, which I really got to start watching the new season of that.
Yeah,
I think I actually did start, but I only watched one episode. But Castlevania is stellar, and then the same guys directing Devil May Cry one. Devil May Cry's already had an anime before, so it doesn't really seem too hyped about, I guess. But I mean, it's going to be there. There'll be Devil May Cry. I know that Final Fantasy 14 is getting a full live adapt. I don't think it's live adaptation, but it's getting a full adaptation. By somebody, I can't remember which director it was, but it might have also been Castlevania's director.
Right.
And the way they want to do that is they want to catch up to where the expansions currently are for the game, and they want to bounce off each other with ideas. Like, they've got some really good ideas going off video games at the moment, but they just they got to keep that momentum up that's been brought by movies like Detective Pikachu and even Sonic. And stay true to the source material and really run it forward. And yeah, again, I think Sonic did it pretty well. It's definitely not as good as Detective Pikachu, but it's definitely up there. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For video game movies anyway.
Yeah, because like on the PlayStation side, they're trying to get the Uncharted movie off the ground, and it keeps on losing directors and everything. And a game like Uncharted, it's also kind of odd to want to make a movie about it because you've got Indiana Jones, which is the inspiration, or a lot of the inspiration for Uncharted. And then with Uncharted, say a 10-hour game sort of compressed into 2 hours, you're not getting the amount of character or story into that.
Yeah, and I feel like those games are very much driven on their plot.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Like, just the only reason I haven't played them is because I played a minor amount of the first one. And I know it's not much of an excuse, but I played a minor amount of the first one. I just remember being frustrated. I'm like, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
And because I played Tomb Raider before I played that. Tomb Raider 2016, 17, whatever it is.
13, I think.
13.
Yeah. It's
long time ago now. Yeah. Holy crap. But yeah, I played that before I even played Uncharted, and that honestly was just a better experience than what Uncharted was.
I preferred the gameplay, but the story was better in Uncharted.
Yeah. I just can't. You can't get me invested unless like both are like semi decent. Like I can deal with like a half-assed story as long as the gameplay's decent.
Uncharted 4, the gameplay in that I felt it was a lot better. But anyway, we don't have to digress into Uncharted talk.
Yeah. No.
So just talking on movies, it was a Pokemon Day a couple of days ago, and they released the remake of the first Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back. Back Revolution, I think it was called. Evolution, yeah. And going into it, I thought they might change it up a little bit more, but it is literally like a frame-for-frame remake, just in 3D.
Yeah, but without the music, as I've been told.
Yeah, I was telling you before. It's sort of like for just, I guess, just a bit of context for both of us. Like, the first Pokemon movie is like as nostalgia comes for me.
Oh yeah. It's the first movie I ever bought on VHS.
I think it was for me too, and I've got like the main picture I've got of my grandfather is me next to him holding the Pokemon VCR.
Yeah,
like, and getting the Mewtwo card. I was holding that up at the time, and yeah, just really loved that movie. I watched it a heap. I love the soundtrack from it. It was actually the first soundtrack I bought too, like buying it on CD. It was my first CD, the first Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
So I listen to that music all the time. And obviously, if they put old 90s music back into it, that would be weird. But
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess for what it is just made for...
I mean, well, it was.
Us,
Just like if you went back and changed it all in the Digimon movie, I don't think you'd get the same reception either.
Yeah.
Like if you went and redid the Digimon movie, which I guess I know in Japan is like 6 movies, but here it's 1, okay? Like, and there was tracks in there that was just like that sits back in childhood. It shared a lot of like music influence with Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of those tracks from that movie melded into my mind. But even just like when you said that, you know, the clones are fighting or whatever in the Mewtwo Evolution, let's call it. I don't want to say the whole name, I can't be bothered. In Mewtwo Evolution, but they took out the track that's like, brother, my brother, tell me what we find. Like, I feel like that's a huge part of the scene.
Yeah, because basically they're fighting, and the bit where Ash turns to stone, like the big emotional moment a lot of us remember for watching that movie. Like, they had like everyone realized what happened, and all of the Pokemon start, you know, crying. Then the music kicks in the original, and it's sort of like, oh man, like it makes your heart just like fold over, like it makes your gut wrench. It's like just with that music. Yeah. But in this one, it's sort of just it has no music, and then the music kicks in pretty much when you've realized that he's, you know, coming back to life, and all the tears are going into Ash, and you know all that corny stuff. Yeah. But yeah, it just didn't have the same impact.
No.
And like a lot of people on Twitter are saying like, oh, you know, I didn't want to cry, but I cried again after watching this movie. And I think a lot of people are having that sort of that feeling towards it. But yeah, it just sort of missed the mark just with the music cue for me. I know that's sort of like a weird thing to like point out, but that's...
It's not really, because like I said before, I associate a lot of those songs that come from those movies with my childhood. So it's sort of like... Yeah, I could not imagine it holding the same amount of emotional weight at all if it doesn't accompany it with the same sort of, you know, musical, I guess sound design, music design.
Yeah, so
whatever it might be.
I think it just sort of missed the mark on the soundtrack for me, because it had like some of like the main music pieces in that were sort of music you might recognize from the anime, or a lot of it was from, say, the anime, like the first season and stuff like that. But yeah, it just didn't have the same sort of kick the original had for me. Yeah, but as far as the animation goes, like there were some points in there where I'm like, this looks really good, looks really cool. And there were some points where like the animation was just a bit weird, and it just sort of made me notice it and just and pulled me out a little bit.
I think that's the strange thing with it for me, is that there's a lot of expressions you can pull off in anime, but you couldn't pull off in 3D. So I feel like it would probably just be pretty jarring to me.
Yeah, like it's on Netflix. Obviously, go and watch it. It's available if you're subscribed to that. And yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah, and after straight after, I'm like, I'm in a Pokemon mood. It's Pokemon Day, so I watched The Power of Us, which is, I think it's the most recent Pokemon movie.
It is the most recent Pokemon.
It is.
Movie.
I think it was 2018. It came out, or was it last year? I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
No, it was 2019. I think
it was it?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Anyway, so I watched that straight after, and I actually enjoyed that more. Just like it has a bunch of characters, and it has Ash coming to like a brand new town that isn't in the games, and it follows like 4 new characters. There's like a really geeky professor who can't sort of talk in front of people. Then there's this uncle who's trying to impress his niece and his sister, but he's like not a full-grown Pokemon trainer. He pretends that he is to impress her, but he's actually not. Then there's this girl who's a runner, and she hasn't run for ages because she hurt her leg, and she's scared to get back into it. And it's just like really interesting. All the characters are really good, and I just enjoyed seeing all the Pokemon interact and everything. It was basically a Zeraora's movie. Zeraora was a Pokemon I'm not all that familiar with, just because I missed Sun and Moon for the most part. When that got introduced, I was like already stopped playing the game. So having a bit more context for that Pokemon was good too. So yeah, personally I enjoyed that one more, but which is weird because that defined all that nostalgia for me. But maybe just that animation was just enough to make me not recognize it in that nostalgia lens. Yeah, but yeah. So that's the Pokemon movies on Netflix, and if you're in the mood for like just a real big Pokemon binge, was was it Pokemon I Choose You, which is sort of like a retelling of the first half of the first series. It doesn't have Missy and Brock, but it does have new characters.
It has new characters, and it is more centric on the thing that was tried to line up on episode 1 with Ho-Oh, so they make it more of a thing.
Yeah, so he basically gets the rainbow feather, then he's got to go and find Ho-Oh, which is really cool. I really enjoyed that movie. So
yeah, it's a good movie.
I watched that one a fair while ago. So
yeah, it's Marshadow's movie.
Yeah.
Pretty decent movie.
Yeah, you watched it?
Yeah. I watched it. I watched it with Evie.
Yeah. So the Nintendo Jukebox at the end of the episode is going to be sort of the remixed Pokemon theme from the new Pokemon movie. Because I remember that theme, that sort of opening being so iconic. I absolutely loved it. Obviously listened to it on that CD I bought a million times. And yeah. Do you remember Vacation, the song in the Pikachu short?
Vacation's where I want to be. Party on the beach and the party is free. Now we're gonna do. We don't need a rain, it's time to celebrate. I need a break, I need a vacation.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I wish that made its way into this too, because that was like one of my favorite songs. I remember like putting it on like my old CD player and dancing to it. I can't dance, but it's probably like a bob or a kid jump. Yeah.
Vacation's where I want to be. Party on the beach and the party is free.
So, since you've been gone, Bryce, you been playing anything? What you been up to?
Since I've been gone, I haven't really done. No, it's been really busy. Just I guess in the emotional standpoint with the thing I talked about last week when I was briefly on. So that's been a big deal. My spare time has been sort of just devoted to chilling out as much as I can because it's been a bit of a weight to carry.
Yeah.
So at the moment, at the time I was for the most part I was playing a lot of Monster Hunter World. I think I put in Iceborne came out and I think I put in 140 hours in the first week and a half.
Jesus.
In my spare time. But that's because I was pretty much just going to work, coming home, shutting myself out, playing, because I was struggling to cope, I guess, as it happens. And it's a bit different to when you're a kid, because when you're a kid, you know, you don't have so many work commitments or anything like that, or whatever it may be. You might have school, but, you know, if you're really feeling down, your parents aren't going to send you. They're going to make sure that you're okay mentally first and not going to school breaking down and whatever. But don't get to do that as an adult. You have to go to work and you have to earn money and you have to do whatever. And, you know, it was basically like, okay, I've had enough of people for today. Time to sit down and do stuff all. In that same time, I guess Evie started kindy as well. So meant that basically all I had to do was look after Arthur, put him down for a nap, and then I could just play that. I did pick up Darksiders Genesis, which I haven't started yet. I intend to, but I haven't quite gotten around to it. So most of it has actually just been Monster Hunter World, Iceborne, because I put 180 hours into the base game, and then I was like, "Ooh, more Monster Hunter World to play," and it's just a fun co-op game to play. And like, I'm still sort of regretful that it's not on the Switch, but I know it's never going to get there. So.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit too much for it, unless they do a serious port.
It's definitely too much for it.
Yeah,
there's no question about that. You aren't going to save it from that. It's definitely too far gone.
Too far gone. There's no saving it. There's no saving it.
Well, for them to dumb down the entire game would just be a real shame.
Yeah.
You're better off just sort of playing it on what you've got. If they could figure out a way to bring it to the Switch and make it look absolutely phenomenal, then sure. But I mean, there's still a lot of people playing Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate anyway.
Yeah.
So I guess they're happy with that. I think the only thing that really ticks me off about the old games is they feel a little bit more clunky than what World does, and the fact that it's not big open areas and you have to transition between them like they were segmented off. Like I hate that, and it bugs me so much.
Yeah.
So I guess Monster Hunter World gets my time, and hopefully that means it became, in the time that I was playing Iceborne, it became Capcom's biggest selling game. That's huge. You think about like all of Capcom's games, Devil May Cry, Resident Evil, stuff like that, things that you would expect to sell way more because people know a lot more about them.
Yeah, because they're all iconic.
They're all iconic, and yeah, that's right. But like Monster Hunter did not do as well as it in the West than it did Japan, but because of its reach in Western culture, it's pushed the series all the way up to the top again. Well, for its first time, I guess, all the way up to the top. Yeah,
they sort of smartly like looked at what is working in the sort of games industry at the moment, whether it's Destiny and sort of these online games, and they sort of pushed in that direction and made it a bit more simple to get into it. And
it's a very well managed game.
Yeah,
I think that's, at the end of the day, that's what got them in the spot that it is. It's constantly updated. There's always events going. It's almost like a co-op MMORPG, because MMORPGs, they have events and shit all the time, whether it's for Christmas or Valentine's or whatever. But co-op
Happy Valentine's Day, let's slay some animals.
Yeah, exactly. But a lot of co-op games don't necessarily do that. I feel, at least not in sort of probably a couple of years ago. I feel like they're trying to make more of an effort to do it now, but I feel like Monster Hunter sort of refreshed itself enough. They keep up with Monster Hunter Festas and like offer bonuses for everyone, and they're always introducing new quests and new monsters and stuff like that. And it's sort of just really sort of ramped up and become this lovely little, I guess, gold mine for Capcom. And you know what? It's a good one. So good on them.
Yeah. I'm actually meaning to get into it. I've got a copy downloaded.
Yes.
I just haven't had anywhere sort of to play it, but now my desk is going to be set up again, and looking forward to getting into it and jumping into it with you. Ash actually said he's going to play with us.
Cool.
Ash, you guys might remember him from the PAX episode that got cut short.
Yeah.
If you can remember him from there, you've got a good memory, because that episode did get cut short, unfortunately. But, yeah. As far as stuff I've been playing, I've just been playing Pokemon. They've had the Pokemon Day events, sort of Mewtwo and raids.
I didn't get around to that.
Yeah. But the main thing I was after was a flame orb. So basically they introduced the starters into the Kanto starters into raids. So if you beat a Charmeleon, you got a flame orb. And what a flame orb basically does is you put it onto a Pokemon and it burns the user. And you might be thinking like, why would you want that? But there's an ability Milotic has that once it's burnt, its defense doubles. And also if it's burnt, it won't be able to get put to sleep or paralyzed, which will be worse than burning. So yeah, and to get a flame orb was like really difficult. You had to beat the Pokemon League, and then it was like a random chance of getting an item from the ball guy. And it was like really rare. And there's like there's a lot of people on my timeline on Twitter basically saying like, God damn it, where's this flame orb? Like they've been looking for it since launch and they couldn't find it. So it was a bit of a real blessing to sort of just be able to beat a Charmeleon, get a flame orb. Cool.
Did you get a couple?
No, I just got one. Because for some reason, like I could find lots of Wartortle. I could find a lot of Ivysaur, but Charmeleon was just hard to find. I only found two of them. One of them I did not get the drop. The other one I got it. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I think by the time you're listening to this or whatever, I think that like the events for Pokemon Day are over. I think they finished.
They were over yesterday.
Were they? I thought they finished on the 3rd, but okay.
They were over yesterday.
Okay.
Sucks because I'd completely forgotten about it, and because I'd been working so much over the weekend.
Yeah. And Mewtwo was a beast to take down.
Yeah.
If one person brought in the wrong thing, you weren't beating it.
No.
There was Joe on Cerebi. He pointed out that Marshadow was the best Pokemon to bring in, just because it's able to hit it with a super effective attack and also steal its stat gains.
Yeah.
So that came in handy. So I didn't really have anything good against it, to be honest. I had my Chandelure, which had Shadow Ball, which was super effective against the Psychic typing,
and you could save yourself from Aura Sphere because Ghost typing.
Yeah. So I had that, but yeah, I didn't have anything really good, but it did the job when other people could bring it in. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been playing much. I've been doing a lot of painting and stuff, painting the walls.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have. I've seen the work.
Yeah. You can see
Very
it.
good.
You smell the paint fumes and the carpet fumes.
Beautiful. Oh yes.
Oh, delicious.
Now I'm feeling a bit dizzy.
Yeah, are you? So, Bryce, you ready for some news, mate?
All right, mate.
Ready for some news? Let's get in some. So, where's the warp pipe? Have I installed it in the new room? Can you see it there somewhere?
I think it's in the corner.
All right. Well, you jump in it. Oh, well, all right.
All right, see you, mate.
Wee.
Is that all?
I fight for my friends. My body is still.
So, Bryce, there's been a lot of Nintendo news the last couple of weeks. Obviously, I missed last week because of the echoey room. Hello. But the main thing that sort of happened was the Animal Crossing Nintendo Direct.
Yes, it did.
I don't want to go too much into it, mainly because, it did happen a couple of weeks ago now, and you guys listening, if you're really interested in it, you'll know everything about it.
That's right. Yeah.
So, but I want to bring up just a couple of things. So they went over Nook Miles, sort of the achievement system and how you can get to other places. And they just reiterated a lot of things. But what they showed, which was really, really cool, was the sort of the ability to just put whatever you want onto the island. So basically, did you see this at all, by the way? Or you got no idea what I'm on about?
If you mean like you could edit it as much as you wanted. So like you could, for example, if there was a river in your way, you can create like a dirt bridge over there and it just becomes like a strip of land. Yeah,
so they showed that eventually throughout the game you can get access to permits, so you can put your own paths down. You can actually like hack into the ground itself. You can put rivers wherever you want, do waterfalls, all this type of thing. And it's sort of like, it brings Animal Crossing from like, all right, this is like a nice little chill life sim game, into like something more like Minecraft.
Yeah.
Even.
Yeah.
You can be like a lot more creative and everything with it. And I think this is going to be something huge for the game. I know
it's something it needs. It's big time.
Yeah. It's so funny with everything, every little improvement to Animal Crossing. Like the people that love Animal Crossing and know Animal Crossing are so excited about this. Like, I've been listening to a Nintendo guru. He's talking like he loves it's one of his favorite series, and he's like saying, "Oh, it's unreal. It's just it's amazing." And it's just stuff like you can put stuff on the wall, then you can move 3 objects at the same time.
It's so basic, but it's such a big improvement for the game.
Yeah,
yeah,
and like that being the biggest one, just like your island, you're not stuck with the layout you don't particularly like. You can put people's houses where you want. You can put all of the shops and the museum and everything exactly where you want it. You put your house where you want it. You've got control over everything, which is really exciting. Like even in New Leaf, like you're the mayor, you could basically say like, I want the water fountain around here.
Yeah.
And Isabel will come and say, yeah, right, here it is. Like, I want it a bit more to the left, but I guess that will do. Now you can just like nail it exactly where you want it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it showed in the direct too that there's like a sort of like people made like a sort of like a city hub. So it looks like completely different to any sort of landscape we've seen in Animal Crossing, because of like you can do like the paths and everything just exactly how you want it. You can have like a section of your island basically being a city, then the other half can be like farmland. You can just, I'm really looking forward to it. I can't wait for Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and there's amiibo support, which I've actually got 2 Animal Crossing amiibo. I got the what's it called? Animal Crossing Festival? Amiibo Festival?
Amiibo Festival.
Yeah, that's right. So I got that for $9. It came with Isabel and the dog. I don't know what its name is. But I got it home and I opened the case and it didn't have the disc in it.
Yeah.
And I actually don't care enough to go back and get the disc.
I mean, it's too late now. You've left it far too late.
Oh, it's way too late. But like even the week of, I'm like, oh, whatever. I got the case. I'll do. I'm not gonna sit down and play Amiibo Festival anytime soon. But
you could have rang them and just said, look, I'll pick it up next time I'm in the Mount. I'm not coming back for a $5 game. You know, you could have done something.
I could have.
I mean, you never know. They might come into shortage of Amiibo Festival, and all of a sudden it becomes rare as shit, but you don't have the game for it anymore, and could have earned you a couple $100 for your $5 spend.
Yeah. No, it will be a damn shame if that happens, Bryce. But until then, I don't care. And this was also sort of interesting. So there's going to be free updates, and the updates are going to include sort of the holidays, whether it's Easter, Christmas, Halloween, etc. And it like obviously in previous games they were already in there, but it seems like to me they're trying to stop people from just putting the clock forth to get all the items and whatever. They seem to be very on top of things just to stop people from getting things easy, whether it's like the cloud save ban or like putting stuff into updates. They did say
they were going to have their own thing though, didn't they?
They are, but it's going to be only if you lose your Switch.
Yeah, it's like a one-time use thing.
Yeah, so
okay.
It's not exactly what people are after, but yeah.
But it's good enough. So it's like...
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Better than nothing.
It's like,
I'll say that, yeah.
If you've got your Switch and you've been playing Animal Crossing for the next 4 years and all of a sudden you're like, oh no! At least you have it backed up. Because you're not going to be playing it for the next 10, surely.
I'm just curious of what's going to happen, say the Switch Pro comes out, we're like, yes, I'd love to buy a new unit. Thank you very much, Nintendo. You get it. So I want to play some Animal Crossing. How will it go moving your save over? Will they happily say you've got a new system? Yes, you can download your save, or will they just
don't they have like a whole transfer thing? I don't know because I don't own 2 Switches.
Well, so this is what's happening with Animal Crossing. There's a transfer just wirelessly from Switch to Switch, and then there's the cloud saves. Animal Crossing blocks both, so you can't upload to the cloud, and you cannot transfer. Because Pokemon, it blocks it from going to the cloud, but you can transfer from Switch to Switch whenever you want, however you want. But Animal Crossing will not allow that because basically the save data from every single user on that one Switch shares the save data for your village or the island on your Animal Crossing save, so they don't want you moving your save file. So how they've sort of counteracted that is saying, all right, you can't move it. And then people complained, rightfully so, so they said, okay, if you lose your Switch, there is a way you can get it back, but that's not coming at launch. That's coming later down the line. So it is weird how they just sort of say these are features that are just built into the Switch are turned off for this one game. It's just.
I mean, I don't really give a shit enough to be like making an uproar personally, but I mean, it really should just be transferable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
it's kind of. I mean, really, like if you're like, oh hey, our Switch is getting old, I'm upgrading to the Pro, and even if it is for the family, it's like, okay, so we just lose our Animal Crossing village altogether that we made progress on because you don't want people to transfer that shit.
Yeah, so they're gonna have to fix that type of thing because
that's just that's just silly.
That is beyond a joke. If you were look into the dictionary, Bryce, silly, and it will say Nintendo's decision to not allow save transfers on Animal Crossing New Horizons. That's what it would say under silly.
True.
And it also say Nintendo.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, Animal Crossing's looking good. Didn't want to go into it too much. There's a lot of stuff you can go into, but you've probably seen the direct, so we're not going to go into it too much.
That's right.
So this is a really quick story. So this is basically Bayonetta 3 development is progressing smoothly. So there was an interview with Atashi and the game's director. I'm going to butcher it. I got it. I read this article beforehand. I'm like, I nailed it. Now we're actually talking. We're on live. I'm going to butcher it, so I'm going to leave it. But basically, there's a bit of an interview, and at the end, they say that Bayonetta's development is progressing smoothly. Actually, there's a lot of info hidden in the teaser trailer back in 2017. So I don't know if there was that much info in it.
I don't remember the teaser trailer too well. I mean, I remember what happened in it, but not the extra details.
Yeah. So when they say progressing smoothly, I don't know if that sounds like a 2020 game or not. Not really, does it?
No. Not just for them to say it's progressing smoothly. I was almost expecting a trailer by now.
Yeah. So I don't think that game's coming anytime soon. If anyone's out there sort of like, all right, the launch trailer is going to be launching soon. So no, I don't think so.
No.
Maybe E3, just like a bit of a trailer, but
yeah,
not this year.
E3 is going to be an interesting year this year because we don't have a lot on the books apart from stuff that we know is not going to be very close. That's why I think that's why I'm so vehemently leaning on Breath of the Wild 2 coming at the end of the year, because I feel like it's the only thing that they've pretty much already conglomerated got sorted.
Yeah,
because of Breath of the Wild 1 having most of the assets for it already. Same deal with, Majora's Mask being Ocarina of Time's sequel.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just saying that Breath of the Wild 2 isn't coming this year, just because. But I really do hope it's this year. I'm actually in the mood just for going back to Breath of the Wild and just dicking around and doing stuff.
I'm pretty certain it is because, again, we look at this. We've got Animal Crossing coming up soon, and then we've also got Xenoblade Chronicles Remastered coming soon. But past that, what else have we got?
Well, nothing yet. That's the thing. We've got obviously Pokemon Mystery Dungeon coming this week.
Well, that too, yeah.
But that's not a huge game, and
no,
whatever. Yeah,
our games for this year so far are 1 new game and 2 remakes.
All right, since we're sort of talking about upcoming games, and let's just have a quick conversation about Nintendo Directs. Because obviously, we usually expect one in February. So in January, sort of, Nintendo staff go back to work. They get all the information together. They edit it up. Then it's ready for February. And we sit down, we watch it, we get excited. Like, yay, here's Nintendo's marketing plan. Here's how they're going to extract their money from my wallet. Very exciting times.
That's exactly right, yeah.
And we were expecting that. And February's come and gone. We're on, March 2nd now as of recording.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're like, all right, well, we're getting awfully close to Animal Crossing and still no Direct. So
where is it?
So, sort of an educated guess, I would say we're not getting a Direct in March either, just because of how close it is to Animal Crossing.
Yep.
They're going to be wanting to get all the hype up for Animal Crossing, and them saying, hey, there's a new Mario and Breath of the Wild and whatever they've got for the rest of the year. That's going to be sort of a poor choice for that too. So even after Animal Crossing, they're going to want to be in full swing, just marketing that as well. So
I'm wondering if they're waiting until after Animal Crossing to do a Direct.
Yeah, there will be, I think. But
well, I'm wondering if that was the plan to begin with.
It probably was, yeah.
Maybe again, I don't think because of what usually we have some sort of inkling of what's going to happen this year. And the only real clue for anything that we have is that Breath of the Wild 2 is probably not going to take that long.
Yeah.
So that could be end of the year.
And Xenoblade, which they said 2020.
Yeah. And I mean that but again though, that's a remake.
Yeah, true, yeah.
What we're looking at this year is we're looking for first party deliveries that are brand new and not reused properties. So we've got two reused properties. We've got one title that is not a reused property.
Yeah, it makes me wonder because last year, to start off the year, we had New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe. It kicked off in January or February. Straight away, we got a first party title. Whether it was a port, but it was something. It is interesting that we didn't. I guess we got Tokyo Mirage Session, didn't we, in that slot this year too?
Which is also
which
also reused property.
Yeah, which I did forget about, but it is something to be buy.
That's also an Atlas delivery though, for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas,
obviously Mario's Nintendo. All Nintendo.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's going to be an interesting year, sort of just leading up to PS5 and Xbox Series X. Just and Nintendo saving the bullet in their chambers. Sort of all right, we've got to save this. The start of the year is very quiet. A lot of stuff got delayed, so they might look at it and say, we've got to maybe let's hold this, see what's going on, suss out what Sony are doing with PS5, see what the holiday titles look like. They might have a rough idea for Breath of the Wild to be their holiday game and what's going to fill out the rest of the year.
Well, that's what I think the plan is, and that's why they announced it last year, because we all know how fucking successful Breath of the Wild was. There's no ifs and or buts.
I was thinking about it today. the significance of Breath of the Wild, and we'll talk about it more later, just because it is the third anniversary of Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
But Breath of the Wild is probably one of Nintendo, if not their most important game they've ever released.
You reckon?
Yeah. Just from how far it brought them back. Just remember our mindset of the Wii U and how far just it brought our passion back for Nintendo. And a lot more people actually created that passion as well. Coming back from Nintendo 64 or GameCube or whatever it has. Like, a lot of people missed, like, just even Wii. A lot of people are like, all right, that's a casual console. It's underpowered. It's not for me. Wii U just didn't even get a look in. Then Switch brought a lot of people back. And that was because of Breath of the Wild, and it's just huge. Just
absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, just 10 out of 10s everywhere. It was you could not ignore it in March.
No,
in 2017.
No,
so
yeah, you had to pick it up with the Switch. There was, no doubt about it.
It's going to be an exciting year, man. It's going to be just how Nintendo sort of competes with the other consoles. I know they say they don't have to, and really they don't.
They don't have to. They are like inherently vastly different to their competitors, but I think they still need to put an offering out there that makes people go,
yay. Yeah.
Like, they still got to get their money. At that time of year, they're going to go off, new consoles are going to go off, it's going to be a huge thing, but where's the Nintendo money going if those new consoles are coming out?
Yeah. Yeah, because, if I'm buying a next generation console, I probably don't have a shitload of money to spend on every single little Nintendo game that comes out.
It is getting to the point where I'm considering going down to EB Games in a couple of weeks' time and putting down on an Xbox and paying it off over the year, just so when it comes to that time of year, which is always arguably a really shit busy time of year.
Yeah.
That I can grab a console. I already have it paid off by the time I get there. But then, if Breath of the Wild 2 is out a week after that console comes out, then I'm not going to be broke to go and pick that up. I'm ready to pre-plan this year. Obviously, it's a huge deal. It's been 7. How many years has it been? Shit, since the last
came out 2013. So yeah.
Yeah, so 7 years. So it's been 7 years since we've last had to think about, new consoles are coming out. And I mean, even back then, last time I didn't do it correctly. I think it took me about 6 months to break into the new generation. When I wanted to be there day one, but it didn't happen.
Well, I had to, I didn't want to get a PS4 straight away just because there wasn't a launch game that really interested me, but I I got in line for, not a physical line, but I put down like a sort of pre-order at Target for the next shipment that comes in, because I was like, all right, Infamous is coming out soon, and like sort of some of these more games coming out sort of a bit later. So that's when I sort of jumped into PS4 as well. Yeah. All right. So yeah, got an exciting year. Thanks, Bayonetta 3, for getting us on that little tangent. So this is another one, Bryce, and it comes from My Nintendo News, and it's titled, Fire Emblem Developer Intelligent Systems has been silently growing. And so this is from Silicon Era as well, this data. So Silicon Era is reporting that Fire Emblem Developer Intelligent Systems has silently been growing since the release of Fire Emblem Awakening on Nintendo 3DS system. The established company now has 169 employees. Before the release of Fire Emblem Awakening, the company only had 130 employees. Here's how the company's role breakdown looks like in 2020. So there's 68 graphic designers, there's 63 programmers, there's 14 planners / designers, there's 10 sound creators, there's 4 hardware engineers, and there's 10 general affairs, accounting, and sales people. So yeah, it's actually like a relatively small development studio, really. Intelligent Systems.
Yeah, well, I mean, they don't do a hell of a lot more than Fire Emblem.
Yeah, and it also has here that, like, it has here on a graph. Basically, it doesn't have a percentage, but just has it on the graph. I'll guess that about 75% of their studio is men, then 25 is female. And it shows over the last 10 years that the amount of women working there has grown. So I guess that's a good thing. But it looks like it's mainly dominated by men, but Don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Depends on the environment there and everything they create. But yeah, just an interesting little tidbit I thought I would bring up.
Yeah.
Another thing, Bryce, is that GDC 2020 has been postponed to later in the summer. So Nintendo, they had planned basically an Animal Crossing New Horizons sort of speech, I guess, with the developers about the development behind the game and everything. And I don't know if you've been keeping up the news, but a lot of companies have been getting out of GDC just for the fears of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So for those people that don't know what Game Developer Conference is, it's basically the time of year when a lot of people come to San Francisco to sort of catch up and sort of just mingle within the game developers sort of circle. And it's it's kind of like what E3 used to be about, sort of just like meeting people and all of that. But now it's just sort of done, and it's not really for like commercial advertising or anything like a lot of these other things are for, such as PAX and E3 and all that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was sort of listening to all the news sort of crumble. It sort of started off with PlayStation saying they're not going because they don't want to expose their staff, and it just EA joined them, and company after company just said, all right, we're not going. And they said they'll do their own thing online. So yeah, Nintendo never actually said that they weren't going to go, but now they aren't going, at least until later in summer, which is American summer, obviously, because it's in America. Yeah. So yeah, what do you think about that, Bryce? Was it all the fears of the coronavirus and everything, how it's sort of affecting the travels of people working in the games industry, and I guess more importantly, just the world in general?
Well, the thing is I think can't remember who said it, but they think that it'll probably take about another 60 days for them to sort out something that can at least combat it. I mean, it's a scary thing. A lot of people seem to be dating it. It always happens when you're in a century in the 20th year. So in 2020,
yeah,
it always happens every 20th year of the century that we have like some sort of major plague that kills off some of humanity. But like because of modern science and everything, this one probably isn't going to do as much damage.
Hopefully, yes.
Well, yeah, you'd want to hope so. But like, it's funny how like it's sort of all lined up, but just that neatly and perfectly over the last couple of centuries that we've always sort of had one around this time. I also feel like it could just be me, but I don't feel like this one has been half as devastating. I mean, I know they're quarantining a hell of a lot of people and stuff like that, but I don't actually think it's not passing as like quickly as say like the Black Plague or something was.
Yeah, I mean, at least from my perspective, there seem to be
they're keeping it under control.
Keeping it under control. Like a lot of, obviously in China, there's been thousands of deaths because of it, but at least in America and Australia, it seems to be sort of controlled. Because I remember in Adelaide, they said,
most countries it is.
Yeah, in Adelaide there was someone had it and they didn't tell anyone, and they like went around the city for a day, and that was like the weekend I was going up. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be the person bringing back coronavirus to our small town. I don't want to be the paper for that.
Did they know they had coronavirus?
I don't. I obviously don't know. This is what I read in the newspaper and heard from other people.
I was going to say that's biological terrorism right there.
Yeah, but they went to like a shopping mall. They went to a house inspection. They they did the rounds apparently before they went into quarantine. So yeah. Anyway, like
good.
I do appreciate like sort of companies like PlayStation and EA and that for saying like we'll bounce out. We've got to look after our people. So I respect that.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if the people or the staff members didn't want to go because of that. It's a bit of a shame if they said, "Oh, don't worry about it." But
yeah, don't worry about it. You're not getting coronavirus. But like in reality, like it's made its way over here too. And I mean, it's only I think I don't know how many cases there are in Melbourne now, but I remember the week of there was about 6.
Yeah,
so
so
I'm not sure if it's grown any more past that, but yes, it's very important that if you feel like there is something wrong, that you go and see a doctor immediately in these trying times. Don't delay it because you don't know what you've got. They recommend most people at the moment, if you've got a cold, go immediately to the doctor and get it checked out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it just seems like the common cold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's a virus and it has killed a bunch of people.
And most importantly, Bryce, I think the poor beer company Corona, the sales that they're looking at, apparently it's significantly gone down. And I remember when the news first came out, I'm like, I wonder how this is going to affect Corona. Everyone's like, yeah, fair enough, dude. That's a dumb thing to say, but apparently it actually has.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I've had to tell people.
I don't know why. Like, if I enjoyed Corona, which I don't anymore because it tastes like piss.
Because the first thing that goes through people's heads is like, coronavirus. You can get coronavirus from the corona. That's why then in their head they try to link that up. They're like, oh, so maybe the reason they called it the coronavirus is because it formed in the Corona factory and somebody got it from drinking a beer. No, it's not how it happens. But yes, it does. It does when something like that, it affects people. Yeah,
Corona is Mexican for crown.
Yes, that's right.
It's not the shortened abbreviation of whatever the virus is. What's it called again? What's coronavirus's full name? Oh, yeah, sorry.
Why would you ask me that question?
I just put that question on.
Why would you ask me that question?
Yeah.
The coronavirus. There you go.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. What the house am I here? We stay in this house. We're quarantined here. You don't have to. You come here.
You won't catch it in your earbuds.
No, you won't catch it in your earbuds. So moving on from that delicious talk, Bryce. Yummy lemon-filled Corona talk. This might actually make you happy. So Sora is currently the most wanted Super Smash Bros. Ultimate fighter in a recent poll. So a Japanese poll which received over 3,000 responses from I'll start again. What am I doing? A Japanese poll which has received over 3,000 responses has Sora from the Kingdom Hearts series as the most wanted character from Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on Nintendo Switch. That was a sentence. The poll was conducted by Inside Games and received 86.6 male respondents and 8.3 male respondents. Here's the top 15 characters. All right, I'm not going to do all the characters. Or maybe I will. I don't know. So number 1 was Sora. Number 2 was Dante from Devil May Cry. Number 3 was the Hunter from Monster Hunter. Number 4 was Rex from Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Number 5 was 2B from Nier Automata. Number 6 was Crash Bandicoot from Crash Bandicoot. What the hell? Number 7 was Waddle Dee. Was a Waddle Dee from the Kirby series. Why would you want to play as Waddle Dee?
You have no idea. Bandana D has such a fucking following for Smash.
Does it?
Yes, like the bandana Waddle Dee that's been like Kirby's companion in the recent games.
I guess it would be actually fun with like the fighting moves than that does.
It won't happen, mind you, but yeah, anyway.
Number 8 was Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII.
Of course.
Number 9 was Aruru from Pura Pura series. Number 10 was Steve from Minecraft. Your favourite, Bryce? Get Steve into Minecraft. Get him slapping some foes.
Get Steve into Minecraft. He can stay there, yes.
Yeah. Number 11 was Saber from the Fate series.
Anime.
Yeah. Number 12 was Kirito from Sword Art Online.
Anime.
Number 13 was, what does this even say? Don't know. Don't care. It's another anime. Don't know what it is. Number 14 was Goku from Dragon Ball. And number 15 was Geno from Super Mario RPG.
So literally 4 of those answers are invalid because they never get put in.
Yeah, no way. But I think like the top 5 are definitely doable. Sora, Dante, a Hunter from Monster Hunter, Rex, and 2B. I think there was actually an article a while ago that said that I think Nintendo actually asked Square Enix about Sora and they said no, essentially. But
because it's not their property to manage. It's actually Disney Interactive's.
Right.
So Square Enix handle the games and they do the games and stuff like that. And it has always been traditionally a Disney cross Final Fantasy thing. But if Disney didn't want to do a thing, they won't do a thing.
No.
and it is Disney's property. So, sorry, boys and girls.
And yourself?
No, I don't really care.
Oh, you don't?
No,
Okay.
no, because of Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts 3 has
I want to
completely ruined the entire series for me.
No, that's a shame.
And the DLC made me even sadder because, and I've only read it. I've only read and seen the cutscenes and what's to be expected, and that also makes me disappointed because it's $50.
Oh shit, is it?
It was $50. Like, okay, put this in perspective.
Oh god, here we go. Yep.
Hang on, all right, listen,
listen.
very quick. It's $50. It is basically a remix of bosses with some new characters to play. Fine, but $50 for that
for DLC, it's a stretch.
That's a fucking big stretch. I paid $50 for Iceborne. And Iceborne has lasted me 220 hours.
Oh, you can keep replaying the DLC. You can get 220 hours out of it.
It's I think it's only like a 5-hour DLC. That's ridiculous.
Oh, you played it a few times then? You'd be really good at it by the time you play it for the...
You don't have to be good at it because Kingdom Hearts 3 dumbed down its gameplay so hard. You don't need to be good at it. But my point is that I don't really care either way. He has like huge cultural influence in the video game sphere and everything, but he's pretty much a no because Disney Interactive will not let him go. Even though it's dumb, really. Should be like, oh, hey, guess what? He's there. And then it's like, oh my God. And then it goes more sales. Like it's only money. It's only money. It's free money. Free money. They don't want. So, but they've already said no from what I understand. So
yeah, it is strange because Kingdom Hearts has a little bit of a heritage on Nintendo platforms, and
it literally does. Yeah,
I'll be surprised if 1, 2, and maybe probably not 3, but like say a collection or something comes to Switch. I'll be surprised if it never happens.
The story so far, I reckon, will probably happen. So the story so far was everything but 3.
The story so far had 3 in it, but not the DLC.
No,
didn't.
No.
Okay.
The story so far came out before 3.
Okay, so what I read was wrong. Okay, too easy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to fight with you. I know nothing about Kingdom Hearts.
I do. I own them.
I know you.
And then I
know
sold them. That's how...
Really? You got rid of the old ones too?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I got rid of all of them.
Oh.
3 made me that depressed.
Oh, so ladies and gentlemen, we got Bryce back on the show. He's throwing the salt around.
This happened ages ago.
Throwing the salt around. I love it.
I've told...
Yeah, I know.
No,
I didn't realize you even sold the old ones.
No, I got rid of every single one because 3 made me that angry.
Okay, so you ripped off all the Sora posters off your bedroom.
10 years of fucking waiting for that trash.
You took the Sora plushie off your daughter. You burnt it in front of her. You're like, you don't like this anymore.
Yes. All the Kingdom Hearts merch that I apparently owned. But it's gone. 3 was 10 years of a waste. It was more of a waste than Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15, a lot of people were like, it's trash. I think 90% of the populace think that Final Fantasy 15 was garbage. And I thought it was alright, actually. I thought it was really good. But then, Kingdom Hearts doesn't come out for the same amount of time and people are trying to... be exclusive about it, oh, it's because he wrote himself into a corner and he didn't know what to do. I'm like, yeah, he wrote himself into a corner. Nomura fucking wrote himself into a corner. Look at how many Kingdom Hearts games there are. Did he write himself into a corner for those ones? Really? That's not quite. How many Kingdom Hearts games? 14? 14.
Jesus Christ.
Some bullshit like that, and you need to play all of them to get the full picture. And then he made the ending a really shit payoff. So I don't care about Sora. Sora can get screwed.
All right. So let's move on. We've hit. I didn't realize.
You hit a nerve.
I did not realize this would bring up such a sore point for you.
Yeah, because I don't care. Hate it.
Okay. All right. So we're going to be moving into some Pokemon news. So a fair bit of Pokemon news happened because of Pokemon Day and the Oceanic Championship that happened in Australia about 2 weeks ago. But this one is just a little one, and it's a bit of a strange one. So basically, the Pokemon Company is teaming up with an artist named Daniel Arsham, and he's basically a sculpturist, or whatever you call it. A sculpture man.
Sculpturist.
That makes sort of sculptures that look like they've been rediscovered thousands of years after. So he's doing sculptures of, say, Pikachu, Eevee, and all that, but it looks like they're thousands of years old. It's actually really neat. Obviously, we've got no way of showing you on the podcast, but we can play a bit of a clip from sort of the introductory thing. I don't know exactly what we've got here, but this is from just like the announcement video. And I don't think these are sort of things you can buy or anything. But
Pokemon in general was this kind of fantasy universe that was just outside of kind of normal life.
Yeah, man.
When I was a child, I didn't really know that Pokemon was from a different country. It just felt like it was part of our culture or our universe.
I feel like that's pretty obvious that it's Japanese, but
maybe. But as a kid, you don't really think of those things.
No, you don't. No.
And I think that sort of speaks to its kind of global appeal and its global nature. So a lot of my work really involves kind of integration of things from everyday life or popular culture. So it's natural to bring in Pokemon into my kind of universe, right? And a lot of my work is about imagining a future in 1,000 or 10,000 years that contains the remnants of this kind of era, this culture. And so when we think about these kind of significant icons, right, of an era, Pokemon fits into this moment in time. And so what I've done is I've been granted access from Pokemon to all of the character designs, brought them into the studio, and then we've resculpted all of them in clay to achieve a different level of physical detail. And then I'm blowing these works up into a larger scale in bronze.
All right, so that'll do it for that. But that's basically, I guess, what he's aiming for with the sort of sculpture and everything. It's just a cool little idea. It's not like a sort of collaboration that the Pokemon Company's done before, where it's like, here's some phone skins and here's some things you can buy. This is just like a cool little thing that just sort of blends Pokemon with like a real full-blown artist. Yeah. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. You can, if you want to actually watch the video and see the sculptures in a visual form, you can just search Daniel Arsham X Pokemon First Art Collaboration Project. So yeah, so there's that. So Pokemon has been around for many years, Bryce.
Yes, it has.
25 years or so. And the last few months, we've had the opportunity to vote for our favourite Pokemon out of all 8 generations. And we've got the results on Pokemon Day. We've got the results. And I'm going to go through them. Don't spoil for people that haven't heard them or anything like that what they are. But were you surprised when you saw some of the picks in here, or were they all pretty like, oh yeah, fair enough? That is what I expected.
Not so much the picks themselves, but maybe the positions of them on the list.
Yeah.
So I think you agree with that pretty well.
I do agree with that pretty well. So the top 10 Pokemon as voted by the fan community was so at number 10 was Gengar, the shadow Pokemon. Number 9 was Gardevoir, the I don't know Pokemon, the humanoid Pokemon. Is that what its title is? I'm not reading these from anywhere. I'm just sort of trying to remember them. But so number 8 was Rayquaza. Number 7 was Garchomp. Number 6 was Sylveon. Number 5 was Umbreon. And this is the kicker, Bryce. Number 4 was Charizard.
Yeah.
You think with all the Charizard love from Game Freak and the Pokemon Company that people would like it a bit more, but
no,
they don't.
It only just beat Umbreon.
Yeah, and it's actually surprising Umbreon got in there, the top 10.
Yeah, it's like, you got Sylveon and Umbreon in there.
I love Umbreon, but man, top 10.
I expected Sylveon to be in there in some sort of regards because its design is so drastically different.
I really like Sylveon too.
Yeah, so do I. Yeah. I mean, I have a blue one.
Number 3 was Mimikyu, and I've only just thought about this now, but Pikachu is not in this list.
No, it's not.
But the Pokemon mimicking Pikachu is number 3.
Yeah.
Now, Mimikyu is doing a better job than the original Pokemon.
Well, you know what? Mimikyu can be happy now because he's reached that status that he coveted so much.
Yeah. Because as we all know, unless you don't know, Mimikyu was disguising itself as Pikachu because everyone loves Pikachu. Yeah, so it can get some love, and it's worked. It's actually worked.
Yeah, it has. Yeah.
Like legit. The number 2 was Lucario, and number 1 was Greninja. So that's cool. Greninja, we all know it from Super Smash Bros. And Pokemon X and Y, obviously as the starter Pokemon. If you pick Froakie, and Greninja,
Froakie.
It was always just such a standout in Generation 6. Like one of the best designs in that game, and a massive standout as far as the starters of that region go.
Yeah.
Like it's sort of the other two are like, they're pretty bad, in my opinion. You might feel differently, but I'm like, but Greninja's like, that is a top tier Pokemon, and it's cool to see, Charizard or Pikachu or one of those Pokemon not get the first position, like a newer Pokemon getting it. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So there's that. And also a new mythical Pokemon was announced. So Zarude is the new mythical Pokemon. And
he looks like Mojo Jojo. And as we've found from a chart, that the starters also kind of look like the Powerpuff Girls, and it's a little disturbing.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
because
my God. Score Bunny has the ears, which looks like Blossom's ribbon.
Obviously, Grookey, yeah.
Yeah, and
I can see Grookey.
Yeah, because the ear thing. Score Bunny has the ears, which look like Blossom's ribbon.
Yeah.
And Sobble has something particular on him that looks like Bubbles, apart from the obvious fact of a name. But there is and then you've got this fucking thing that looks like Mojo Jojo, and it looks like the Powerpuff Girls.
The Powerpuff region.
When I saw that thing, I'm like, that's Mojo Jojo. That motherfucker is Mojo Jojo. I did not think of anything else other than Mojo Jojo when I looked at it. I was like, what? Right.
So I'm going to read the description, but first up, I'm going to get the Powerpuff theme, Powerpuff Girls theme going.
Ding, 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 ding.
All right, so it's loading on YouTube.
Oh, beautiful.
Just wonderful.
That's exactly what you want.
All right, bros. So, what's this? So this article's from Pokemon Day. So today is Pokemon Day 2020, and the Pokemon series has revealed who the new mythical Pokemon coming to Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield is. It is Zarude. It is a grass and dark type and described as a rogue monkey. Because sure, whatever. Yeah, I don't know why I'm reading exactly what it is. But where is the Pokedex description? I had it here. Mojo Jojo. So the Pokedex description is, this mythical Pokemon lives in a packed deep in the dense forest of Galar. It treats anyone that isn't a part of the pack with immediate hostility. When fighting, Zarude swings around from tree branches, attacking relentlessly with its sharp claws. What are you doing there? It is quick.
Turning it down.
Its quick wit helps it excel in battles. Zarude is only available in Pokemon Sword and Shield and cannot be encountered in regular gameplay. So yeah, you're going to be getting it for free. Yay.
Right.
Like we said in the past, we want to go back to the days where we get a ticket, go to a new place, discover a new island, discover a new Pokemon. But it seems like we're just going to be getting it for free. Cool.
It does.
But yeah, what do you think about the Pokemon itself?
Can you hear that? Is that a bird outside?
I think it's a bird outside.
Okay, that's all right. I don't think much of it. I really don't care, to be honest with you. I don't. It's got a lot of people are like, oh, what? They're like, oh, it's pretty shit typing, and like I look at it and I'm like, grass dark. What else is grass dark? Is there anything that's
Shift Tree?
Yeah,
I think Shift Tree.
Shift Tree do any good ever?
There was a point when it had chlorophyll and it was okay, but no, it's not good at the moment.
No. Yeah.
I
think it just as a typing, it's not very good.
Yeah, it's not the best typing, and it doesn't have the best ability either. It has Leaf Guard, which I think it's in Sun. It can't get us can't have a status condition. So that's like
it would have to have like 0 defenses and then have like insane attack, like 200, and then a speed stat of like 145 for it to be like anybody to really give too much of a shit.
Yeah. So like I'm excited about it just for a fact it's like a new Pokemon is coming to the game. I'm like, cool, that's fun. It's new Pokemon to sort of experiment with, but at the same time, like looking at the design doesn't get me too excited.
No.
Yeah.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and like it's a mythical Pokemon, but it looks so angry, Bryce. I want a nice little Celebi or Jirachi or Shaman or Mew.
Reminds me, I really need to get around to that Celebi.
You need to get around to that Celebi.
I really need to get around to that Celebi. Yeah.
All right, so just moving into some more Pokemon news. So the Pokemon Oceanic Championship happened a couple of weeks ago, and I was going to make my way down, but I'm like, I've got too much painting in that to do.
Yeah, too much shit to do.
I've got too much stuff to do. I really wanted to go. Man, I wanted to go, and I really wish I did, but didn't get around to it. Unfortunately, I had a couple of things planned to sort of do interviews and stuff, but didn't happen in the end, unfortunately.
No, it's understandable.
So the VGC, so the video game competition in the Masters division. So this would be, I don't know the exact age groups of what you have to be in Masters, but this is what we would be in if we played. So taking out the first position was Marco Silva, and seeing these matches at the end were really exciting. But the one I want to comment on is the juniors one.
Everybody wants to comment.
I want to comment on the juniors one. This was the most exciting, and this was like the biggest play where everyone's just like, where I went, oh, whoa, because basically, so Simone Lim won the juniors division, and she is like a tiny little girl. She'll be like,
she's 7 years old.
She's 7 years old, and she's so adorable. I'm like, oh my, like when she came onto the stage to like start playing the match, I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. And just looking at the prize pool here, so for first place is $5,000, and it's 500 championship points towards the finals in I think it's London this year. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's not a bad little prize pool for a 7-year-old to win.
Yeah.
But basically at the end of her match, she had it was just her Tyranitar left, and she had two opponents still on the field, and she predicted one of the Pokemon's protect and went for the other Pokemon, knocked them out, and the Pokemon left just had nothing on her Tyranitar, and her
Tyranitar outsped it. Yeah, outsped the Rhyperior. Yeah. So the guy on one side had a Rhyperior and something else. I can't remember exactly what it was.
Yeah, I can't either now.
It was some kind of, I believe, powerhouse though.
There's no point trying to think about it. You're not going to get it. But
it was something like, it was a ghost type or something. So like a Chandelure or something like that. That's something that Tyranitar can deal with really quite easily. But so is Rhyperior. Rhyperior could be taken out easily by anything ground that Tyranitar throws at it. And I guess the mindset was that she's going to go for that and take that out first because it's a guaranteed KO no matter what way you look at it. But if I protect and then dance around it, it'll be fine. And obviously it didn't happen that way. She predicted the protect and took out the other Pokemon, and that left Rhyperior right open with because Rhyperior is much lower, a decent amount of lower speed, I think.
Yeah. I'm going to try and find the interview because it really was funny to watch. But before we do that, just what are some of the other winners? So in the senior division, Jack Gilbert won that as well. Mm-hmm. And like all the battles were fantastic. I was watching. I just had like my headphones in, and I was listening to a lot of it just while doing painting and that, and kept me entertained for most of the weekend. Yeah, just doing that. So Bryce, if you want to just vent for a little bit more, and I'll try and find this interview.
Oh jeez, all right. Is that what I've become?
Yeah,
I've become a vent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, last Tuesday I had a tuna sandwich. It didn't really taste too nice because. It was a little bit old, it was getting close to that expiration date, and basically it was put together with a bit of cheese and some tomato.
Okay, Bryce, we got it here, mate. So what was it here? Oh, so it was a Glaceon. Yeah, the Pokemon we couldn't think about.
Yep.
She's just there, and like a friend runs up to her and just gives her a hug. It's really, really sweet to watch.
Yeah.
It's the match that made me just smile as it won.
Sets we've ever seen in juniors history. First of all, Simone, congratulations. How do you feel?
Happy.
Happy indeed. You played so well. You didn't give in to the pressure. Were you nervous after the first or after you lost that second round?
I was nervous after I lost the second round.
But you played so well in that final game. You made the prediction to go for the crunch onto Dusclops. How did you know that was the right play to make?
It was Dusclops.
Yeah.
Because I know that
That's right.
He's going to protect the Rhyperior.
You were right. You protected the Rhyperior, and you got the knockout. You know, you played so well. I think you were a fan favorite. Everyone was just so happy to see you perform well. So, you know, do you have any thank yous to say to the people that were supporting you?
Well, my friends and my family and my coach.
I'm sure they're all very, very proud of you. Truly a tremendous performance, and you have so many fans out there supporting you. So, Simone, congratulations once again on an amazing victory. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No.
All right, you heard it from the champion herself. Thank you, guys.
That's the bit that gets me the most. Like, anything else you'd like to say? No.
Yeah, so she was... Yeah, Tyranitar versus Rhyperior and Dusclops. Dusclops would have been Eviolite Dusclops, and Rhyperior would have been... They would have been trying to slowly knock it out because they were both tanks. So, yeah. And it just turned out that her prediction won it for her in the end anyway.
Yeah. So, yeah. Really, really hard one to say. And sort of... from the event, just watching all the matches, like you're seeing these, like seeing like a little girl, then like, you know, fully grown men, women. He's just seeing like so many people coming from all over the world. Like one of the winners was from Argentina, and obviously Australians and US. You got so many people, and it's amazing seeing how many people come together for the love of Pokemon. Yeah, and it's there's not many series in video games that can draw in that many different people. No. I think it's really special, and it really shows just how special Pokemon is. Yeah, and it and it reminds me of that because, you know, it's just like you and me talking about Pokemon. It's just like, you know, whatever. But like it's something you can share with your daughter. It's something I can share with someone else. I was going to say Chantel. She won't want to play Pokemon. But yeah, try. Yeah, and sort of like throughout the event, they had it like. A lot of the sort of main Pokemon that were being used was, say, Arcanine. Arcanine was being used as a support set with a Will-O-Wisp for doing damage, and obviously its ability Intimidate for lowering attack. And there was a lot using Snarl as well, so getting those stat changes there. And Durant was really, really, really heavily used, and this was a Pokemon I haven't really seen being used that much. But basically, people made use of its ability Hustle, which ups its attack, but lowers its accuracy. But once it's Dynamaxed, it's still got its upped attack, but its lowered accuracy is nulled. So it's just got really good attack, and a lot of people were trying to set that up to be a sweep, but the matches I watched, it actually worked really poorly for them because the Durant got knocked out straight away, and they're just left with nothing. So it looks like it was quite
kind of a surprise that people didn't try to abuse that with Flapple, because Flapple has Hustle.
But I guess Durant must just work better for it.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I haven't actually seen much talk about Flapple's competitive usage.
Yeah, and obviously Dracovish. If you play the games, you know what Dracovish is up to with its. It's
a dangerous Pokemon. I'm not sure it should have ever existed. It already looks like it should have never existed. So, and then you give it Fishious Rend.
Yeah, Fishious Rend. But basically, I think sort of in this competition, it wasn't used a whole lot just because people are figuring out how to counter it now.
I mean, yes.
So Gastrodon's really good at countering it, as well as I think Togekiss as well.
The thing about God, what's its name again? I've already forgotten it.
Bill,
yes. The thing about Bill is that it's set up to be like very obviously strong. It's got Fishious Rend, strong jaw. It's got like literally everything in its power to make that one attack an absolute monster of an attack. But if you bring it into double battles and you've got something that can use Protect, well,
whoops, yeah.
And then it's not very good on any other front. It's really good at using that one attack. It's not good at too much else.
Yeah. So I mean, you can run like Crunch and stuff on it, but it's not. Yeah, still obviously nowhere near as good. No. But it is boosted a bit because of strong jaw. So yeah. yeah, I know I was talking before. Like, I really want to make one of these events. I didn't make this one, and I really, really wanted to. Hopefully, I'll be able to make another one. They were talking about like there's like regionals, so there are events more like smaller events closer by. So there might be like one in Adelaide or something. I've got to look into it because I really want to actually go to one, just meet people and talk Pokemon. Yeah. So, Bryce, this is going to be something I'm going to be doing a bit more differently going forward. So, going to be going through sort of like the game releases for the week in the Nintendo eShop for, I guess, the Australian eShop. So, there shouldn't be too many differences, but there will be differences here and there from, European and US and Japanese if you're on the Japanese eShop. But basically, the major game coming out this week is Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX. I will be picking this one up. It's just a fun, chill game to sort of level up and go through the story again. It's a favourite of mine from the DS, so I'm looking forward to that.
You play that, I'll play Darksiders then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Because I can't afford it at the moment.
Well, with all this stuff I've bought, I really don't want to be spending more money, but I want it.
Yeah. That's pretty much how it is. Yeah.
So I'm going to be going through all of the releases from on Nintendo eShop in the last week, and I want you to listen to the titles of the games and pick one out to read a description and look more into it. So one that sounds interesting just by name alone. So we got Arcade Fuzz, Battle Sloths, Beer Walker. Don't know what Beer Walker is. Blood Roots, which looks pretty cool. Bucket Knight, Edgar, Bollock in Balzac. They're just trying to trip me up with these freaking names, aren't they? Farmer Sim 2020, Gun Bear Super Strikers, Grizzland, Hay Fever. These names are ridiculous, aren't they? Jesus. Hero Must Die again. Kingdom Rush Frontiers, Mandorius R, Mathland, Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Edition, Metro 2033 Redux, Metro Last Light Redux, Portal Dogs, Profane, Puzzles for Toddlers and Kids, Animals, Cars, and more. Jesus, what game is that? I'm gonna bring that in a different tab, see what that's all about. So, what's this? This puzzle game is extremely easy to use and was tailored with great care to be played by children of all ages. It is a battle tested, 100% frustration free. It contains different difficulty levels for entertaining and wide range of age groups. So that's its official write-up, Bryce. So I don't know how I feel about that. Probably not a game for us. Maybe Evie will enjoy it. Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. Samurai Showdown Deluxe Edition, Ski Snipers, Skull Rogue, Soul Axiom Rebooted, Spartan Fist, Stab, The Unholy Society, 2 Point Hospital, and Vasilius. So there's a lot of names in there. So what's a game that stood out for you when I go and look into?
There's two. There's two in there that make me go, what the fuck? And that's Battle Sloths.
Yeah.
And Ski Snipers.
So where are we looking on this list? So Ski Sniper. Load that up.
I could just imagine like a guy going down a mountain, but he's like between the trees and he's trying to assassinate somebody on a cute couple date.
So the game is $6.37. It's $15 off, or 15% off at the moment. Mm-hmm. And the description reads, have you ever wondered how difficult it is to shoot a ski jumper on the fly with a sniper rifle?
Yes.
And in the official description, it has a smiley emoji. Holy shit, guys. What are you thinking? Ski Sniper gives you the perfect opportunity to find out. So this is dot points. Discover the sniper weapon, including a crossbow. Complete objectives to get special rewards. Watch your perfect shot trajectory from the special bullet camera perspective. Admire bullet damage in the X-ray mode. Choose your perfect sniping spot. Become the best ski sniper around the world. And guys, just in case you're wondering if you want to pick up the game, the sale ends on the 12th of March. So get on that before then if you're interested in Ski Sniper. I will say, like, if you put in the emoji in the official description, that looks unprofessional as anything.
It does, yeah.
So what was the other one? It was
Battle Sloths.
Battle Sloths by the Invisible Collective. That is the name of the developer. Sloth's Pizza Chaos. Battle with your friends using an arsenal of pain to collect the most pizza. Okay, pizza. No party is complete without steaming boxes of fresh pizza. I just wanted to say streaming for some reason. But beware, your friends are hungry too, and this pizza isn't going to last all night. Grab a hoverboard and get moving. Defend your pizza from other players and fight for slices across the map in this fast-paced, competitive twin-stick shooter from an arsenal of over 15 weapons ranging from... just click on more there. Ranging from swords to nukes to extract death and revenge upon those who would claim any slice of unspoken for. Don't know what that means. Learn to take advantage of the unique map conditions and get a competitive edge over your opponents. You've never seen sloths move this fast. Then again, you've never had any pizza party with a hungry sloth before. It's true, I haven't. An award.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who does a shit ton of dope or something that's managed to come across a sloth and he just sits there with his friends and getting high.
I'm sure it's happened before.
It's probably happened before.
Not here, though. No sloths in Australia. No. An award-winning indie hit now finally on Nintendo Switch. Customize your sloth with over 900 hats and enjoy four different...
it's T-Fortress 2. Watch out.
Enjoy 4 different game modes, allowing you to enjoy the party whether you're alone or with an AI or with 3 friends. So fantastic.
Beautiful.
The game costs $13.65 Australian. So get on that, Battle Sloths. Yeah, it looks a lot better than the other game anyway. This game actually looks like a bit of fun. Looks like just like a real silly like sort of Nidhogg sort of kind of like what's that game? Towerfall. Kind of reminds me of Towerfall a little bit in its graphics and that, which is really cool. So yeah, there's those 2. I think going forward, I'm going to pick a game, read it, and you pick a game and you read it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. I think that'll be a little bit of fun to do. Should be good fun.
Your road's complaining at you.
Yeah, it looks like it's running out of room soon.
Yeah.
But it is recording on the computer, so
that's fine.
Don't fear, my friend.
I'm not fearing.
Not fearing.
I'm not fearing.
That's good.
I'm not a God-fearing man.
Yeah. So Bryce, you've been gone for a little bit. And the House of Mario, we're doing renovations here. I've painted this room. It's a lot more vibrant, but I want to show you a really special room. We went to it a couple of weeks ago, and I think you're going to enjoy it. So let's sit back and let's move over to Reggie's Rec Room. Oh yeah.
Hi Nintendo fans, Reggie here.
Oh.
Thank you for your never-ending support, for giving me a mushroom kingdom full of incredible memories that I will never forget.
That's all right, Reggie. Let me in, mate.
Ever.
All right, Bryce. What do you think of this room, man? It's a bit different since you last been here. It used to be just like the cellar where we, kept the furphy, but we thought we should renovate it a bit and keep Reggie here. See what he's up to and stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, it's good to see you over there, Reggie, holding the towel. You know,
holding the towel. Yeah.
Nice suit on. You're doing a good job over there, my friend.
Yep.
Good job.
Yeah, it's just I've never seen Reggie not in the suit, but man, it's not happening here either. He's still in the suit.
Yes.
Just wonderful.
Room's just as white and carpeted as the rest of them.
Yes, it's just
beautiful.
Wonderful. Yeah, beautiful. So, but Reggie, you haven't made your bed, mate. If you don't make it, you're getting kicked out. You pay no rent here. We're very nice here. You know, we're big fans, so we thought we'd be nice. But make your bloody bed, for goodness sakes.
Yeah, please,
anyway, Reggie, turn down that bloody music. Get it out of here. Bloody, Jesus. He doesn't behave himself very much. So in Reggie's Rec Room this week, Bryce, I want to talk about the 3rd anniversary of Nintendo Switch. You know, from time it launched to now. And like last year was a huge year. So yeah, I don't know where we're going to start this conversation exactly. But I guess back to where we were before, we're talking about Breath of the Wild being one of the most important Nintendo games being ever released, and sort of, you know, where it's gone from there and how the other Nintendo series have sort of embraced big change as well. Not just Zelda, but you know, even Mario with Mario Odyssey, and Animal Crossing shaking things up now, and Luigi's Mansion, and
It's a time for change.
Yeah, not Pokemon. Didn't change too much. But most series have taken a big change. So what do you want to start? Where do you want to start, Bryce? What do you want to talk about regarding the 3rd anniversary?
I guess I want to sort of just make mention on how far it's come since, you know, the dark days of Wii U launch and onward.
A long way, yeah.
I mean, like, the Wii U was the first console to come out, you know, like proper adulthood.
Yeah.
Everything before, obviously, we still bought when we were children or whatever it may be, but, you know, it was a really dark time. We really didn't get a lot, did we?
Yeah.
And I mean, it's really contrasting in the like 5 years we had with the Wii U to the 3 years that we've had with the Switch, how much better it's performed. So much better.
It's been nice just having a Nintendo console that's not looked down on so much. Like a lot of people really enjoy it, whether they're big players of other consoles or not. It's just like it makes a fantastic secondary console, and even people that only have a Switch, it makes a fantastic just main console as well.
I still remember one conversation that was going on Facebook, and there was this one kid who I'm not going to mention by name because I know people listen locally.
Okay.
There's this one kid who in primary school would always talk a lot of shit, but like he was kind of like that kid that talks shit to fit in.
Okay.
You know, like he was sort of in the popular rungs, but it didn't look like he was talking shit to mean it. He was talking shit to sort of let it in.
I'm trying to think about who you're talking about. I've got no idea yet. But okay, yeah.
His first name's Tom. His last name starts with a H, and then you can figure it out from there.
Okay.
But anyway, and I remember in the adult years, I was commenting on somebody's post. I can't remember exactly who it was. I think it was maybe Hamish Matthews. And
he's listened to the show a couple of times.
Yeah.
So
I commented on one of his Facebook posts or something, and then this particular Tom comes in and says something snarky about the Wii U because I was obviously still a Nintendo fan back in the day.
That bastard.
He's like, "Don't go around recommending the Wii U, fucking trash." I'm just like, I don't think anybody can recommend the Wii U, Tom. I don't really give a shit, man. He's still living in primary school. What the fuck's going on? I hadn't seen him past primary school.
Yeah.
And he still managed to hold on to the fact that I was a Nintendo fan. And I mean, yeah, I know it was a shit time for Nintendo, but Christ.
If you're talking about the guy I'm thinking about, I think he's just, you know, he's not much of a gamer. He's more of like into his footy and sport and more of a jock type of thing. Is that who I'm thinking about? And like, yeah, it's just easy to just throw like, you're a gamer.
No.
At you for an insult. No?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right.
Starts with a H, ends in an on my way. There you go.
Okay, I know who you're talking about now.
And you know exactly what I mean, don't you?
I mean, if he just like tuned into this one episode,
I mean,
like,
good luck to him.
And like, yeah, exactly. And he just like you just like spell out his name pretty much. Just like, okay, yeah. I didn't really know him that much. Yeah,
no, but yeah, no. He always seemed to tried to create shit in order to probably get more clout that he didn't really need, I guess. But yeah, no, he did. He cracked that on me on a Facebook post during the Wii U era, and I mean, at the time, I didn't really give a shit. Like at the time, when the Wii was out, I recommended the Wii because hey, it was fun. Like I didn't expect it to keep up with Xbox or whatever. I still played Xbox 360 and all that and whatever, and the Wii was good because it was sort of like that in between of like just having fun with it and it being a Nintendo with Nintendo IPs. And
that's where you went for, you know, your Nintendo games you really love to play.
Yeah. So it's not something I'd recommend if you wanted Call of Duty.
Yeah, probably not because it's not really on it.
No. And the Wii was all the way back during them times as well. Like I really don't get the point of the argument. And it was like the worst time to make that comment too during the Wii U era. The Wii U was not good. The software on it was fine. Like I enjoyed the software on the Wii U, but you know, you try to hold the Wii U candle to the Switch candle. The Switch is just shat on it.
Yeah. See, every time we bring up the Switch, we always go straight to the Wii U because the Wii U was just it's an important part of what makes the Switch what it is.
It's because it's clearly that's what they wanted the Wii U to do. They wanted it to be the Switch, but obviously at the time they were just saying, it's not going to work.
Yeah, and it really did put a fire under like Nintendo's ass to be like, all right, this has to be like in my eyes, like if the Switch came out to just like, oh yeah, it's good, and that was whatever, and it sold 30 million units, and it's a good console, and people who are hardcore Nintendo fans liked it and whatever. I don't think that would have been enough to bring them back into real relevance, like next to Sony and Xbox.
No.
But like I said before, with like Breath of the Wild, just how commercially and critically successful that game was, that skyrocketed Nintendo and the Switch to where it is today, and it's been riding off that success ever since. For the past 3 years, it's been riding off Breath of the Wild, just like reinventing one of the most iconic series in gaming, and just bringing them back. It brought them back like straight away after getting the Switch and playing that game. We were like, they're back.
Yeah,
they're back after 2016. Star Fox Zero, Ultra Smash, Mario Tennis, like just like real filler crap for the Wii U, and even like 2015 was like that was Mario Maker, and it still wasn't that much. No.
That's what I mean about the software, though. Like for the most part, there was good, genuine software on there that spawned a lot of things. You've got Splatoon, you've got Mario Maker, even just the remakes were nice. Like with the Twilight Princess HD and Wind Waker HD, they were the best ways to play those games. Like there was a lot of good sort of push-up motivations for the Wii U in general in terms of software. It's just an absolute shame that it got to the point where it was like, at the start there was nothing.
Yeah.
Then there was something. And then there was nothing again. The hardware obviously didn't sell anybody. Like, to begin with, I was like, yeah, and I actually did use that tablet as a screen, like, from time to time.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, just as a handheld, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and it was fine. It did its job, but it was definitely cheap and did not feel like a current-gen console.
Yeah. See, I didn't mind holding it. It was a comfy enough type of thing. Like having its second stick in the upright position was like a bit weird, especially when like you're swapping between other consoles and all that. And also having the buttons down there, like the stick up there, felt good. But having your thumb like constantly like move down to like use those buttons.
I know you bring this up from time to time, but I'll never understand controller amnesty. It really doesn't bug me. I just put my hand on the controller and I put my thumb wherever the buttons are.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then I just put them up to the stick. I don't go from the stick to the buttons. I go from the buttons to the stick because that's how I've always played video games.
Yeah. No, I mean I do too, but like naturally I'm just saying on the Wii U, like if you just rest your thumbs, that is naturally where your thumbs go up the top.
I just angle my hand differently.
Yeah. Okay.
I know, like
maybe I'm making a big deal over it, but
you're not because a lot of people talk about it. But personally, I'll just never understand it.
Okay.
The perfect controller in my eyes was the Xbox 360 controller. You could not get any more like state line perfect controller. It was just 100% on the dot, whatever you're sort of sitting at. But when you're talking about, hey, look, they move those buttons over down where the stick is, and they move the stick up. It's like, depending on what kind of game you're playing, you're actually going to find one or the other more comfortable. If you're playing a twin stick shooter, having the two sticks on the same sort of horizontal plane to each other is probably going to be a bit better than like there is ins and outs of each side, but I'll never get it. I mean, look at the PlayStation controller. The PlayStation controller does it.
Yeah. But they're at the bottom though. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's also in a weird place because it's like right in the center of the controller, so you're gonna hold your thumbs.
Yeah, I don't notice it so much on the PlayStation controller. I think it's just it doesn't really matter, but it's just
it's because once you get used to something, once you get used to something in a controller, you just that becomes your norm, and then when you decidedly move from it, it becomes different. But I've never had that trouble because I went from a SNES controller to a Nintendo 64 controller, which is a huge jump, and then
that's an interesting controller,
and then to a PlayStation controller, which is another big jump, in leaps and bounds. Then I went to a GameCube controller, which was another big jump. I've never really had a problem. I just adjust and go with it.
Yeah, it's like when say you're playing with a GameCube controller, and you go to an Xbox controller, and you're like, you might have been playing a game for a real long time, and you swap to a controller. It just feels weird for like the first 15 minutes. Do you get that?
No.
Or no?
No. Once I've picked up a controller and used it for a couple of hours, it's pretty much cemented in my mind.
There you go.
I might not have A, B, X, and Y down pat, like their position on the controller, because we know that shit changes.
Oh, yeah. It's
between
annoying.
Xbox and Nintendo.
It's annoying.
But I still, I don't have any trouble with it.
Oh, you're just a superior human being. In the game?
I'm not a superior human being. It's just whenever it comes up in conversation about the Wii U, I just don't really understand. I guess.
So let's stop talking about the Wii U. Dark days, we get it. And the Switch, good days. I was.
You had a tangent there.
I did have a tangent there, but I was just like thinking like we were going to start this podcast in the Wii U days. I'm just really curious of what that would have been like.
Would have been bad.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have had much to talk about.
No.
It would have been a lot of retrospectives and, sort of evergreen episodes. I don't think we could have got much content out of Wii U whatsoever. I mean, the thing is like I haven't touched my Switch in a few weeks now, except for small things, but I still have plenty to talk about when it comes to the console.
Yeah,
because there is that much good shit coming out on it, and already exists on it even. And I can go back and talk about some of those games I played for ages.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's magical about the Switch is that it's come back to that effect. And for a while there, that was PlayStation holding that title for that effect. Because it was the one doing it, I guess. They had the exclusives coming out. They had, all this stuff happening. Everybody was flocking to it as a primary console because of, Xbox's bullshit early on in the generation and whatever. And now that the Switch is sort of where it is, they've made a huge comeback. They've really picked themselves up and did a amazing job. Every series that they've got under their belts going through an evolution. It's not just become the same thing over and over, which, hopefully that's now a standard they'll uphold to some degree.
Yeah, it's hard to even think of Nintendo being in that situation again. Yeah. Just like the last 3 years have been pretty incredible. Stellar. Like I know you can make the argument that 2018 was a bit slow. Like you had Pokemon and Smash Bros, which were the main games for that year, and they'll at the end of the year. But there's still huge games for Nintendo, and the two of my favorite games on the system itself. So I guess that just comes down to taste, really. Yeah. But yeah, it's just been each year's just been phenomenal, and like the year of it's just happened, like with all the games coming out, and so yeah, it is interesting to maybe see where they're going this year. Just we don't know anything what's going on, so there might be making up for it this year, just being a bit slower or what, we don't know yet. But yeah. Yes.
Thanks, Nintendo Switch, for fucking reviving my love. Because for the last 5 years prior to that, it was really hard to sort of get enjoyment out of it. And now that they've sort of brought it back, but I do have a couple of arguments, and that is Nintendo. The Wii U is the virtual console system at the moment. Should not be.
That was the best. That was the thing. It was best.
It was the best virtual console system. Move that shit to the Switch. I know you can do it.
I know you can do it. Yeah,
I know you can do it because you pretty much put the specs of a Wii U in a Switch, and you've had no trouble transitioning that. So nothing's stopping you. I guess just make sure that you actually give us some news this year, because you've been very quiet and it's a little ominous.
Make sure you give us some news.
Well, it's been very ominous. And I mean, like, I'm fine for a quiet year. If they want to have a quiet year, that's fine. But I'd like to be like, here's what to look forward to the next few years. Get some sort of a perspective, and maybe a couple new announcements would be nice. Nothing has to come this year, but I'd like the news.
Yeah. So where would you like to see Nintendo go with the Switch into its third year? So what type of Anything from games you want to see, or features or updates to the Switch itself, or new models? Where do you want to see them go with the Switch? Obviously, it's very successful for them and they want to keep trucking along and all of that. I don't think they're going to move away from the hybrid system for the next model or the next Switch itself. I think this is something for them to stay. I think it works really well for them. So, yeah, what do you think? I know you're sort of thinking there. You're rubbing your head.
Scratch my nostril. Yeah.
Yep, yeah. Your hair's on fire. You're really processing something there.
No, I think this is something that's gone on in my head for a while. I would really like them. Like we've got a standalone handheld Switch. I would really like them to make a box. And that sounds weird to say, but like I'm fine with the current Switch model in its current situation.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, hey, you just pick it up and you go.
Yeah.
And I'm not 100% like, I absolutely desperately need something that has a bit more power like right now. But what I would love to see is a box for the Switch, because the problem with handhelds and connections and all that shit is they don't have a much longevity in comparison to everything else.
Wears
and
out,
that's my biggest worry with the Switch. But if you had a box, at least if that died, like that's the thing. That's what the Retron's become so famous for, is being able to play all your old shit on a box that just universally holds heaps of things. But I would love to see like a box that can have that. But not only that, but you would have basically more powerful specs, something close to the NVIDIA Shield that you put on your TV. And you would have a bit more power in it, and that is like your high definition experience on the TV, because you don't need that in the handheld.
Yeah.
At all. And like putting specs like that in the handheld, as much as I would like them and is great and everything, I don't think it's absolutely necessary. But in a box, you could do that, and then you could have options for high resolution textures and stuff like that, and developers can be like, here's an optional download pack for high resolution textures and stuff like that, and just make it really an overall great home package as well.
Yeah. So there's two different ways they can go with that. There's one way they can go like they can make it a competitor or similar to PlayStation 4 or Xbox One X, not One X, just Xbox One, and just like have it like, you know, it's powerful, it does this, does that. Or they can make it like something similar to what the PlayStation TV was for the PlayStation Vita, just like a little tiny box. It's $100 instead of $300. Plug it into TV, really cheap, small option to get just console games if you're not interested in handheld. So they could go that way too and just have it like run games like the Switch does it right now. But it's like the Switch Lite's a cheaper option for handheld, and the Switch dock box thing can be just a real cheap way of getting games onto your TV and getting them into the house. So what sort of version of that would you want? Would you want like, obviously what you described was the sort of more like PlayStation 4 version.
I just want a standalone box.
Yeah.
Because the thing is like if you want a decent infrastructure, you've got like, you can have the standard Switch, which is good for the TV, good for wherever, or you could go, here's a Switch Lite, and that's, you know, a couple $100 cheaper, right? You can buy that as your baseline. And then down the road, you're like, maybe I do want to play games on the TV, right? So you get the box, and obviously because you can cut out like the inexpenses of like some of the more finite materials and the screen and stuff like that, you can just put more power in the box, and then you can have an ecosystem between a light and a box. Right? You don't have to have the dock to do it. You can just be like, you're on the same home network as your Switch Lite. You save sync up. Ding.
Oh, God.
Good.
That sounds way too complicated for Nintendo, but that sounds awesome. Yeah.
No, it's not too complicated. You can make
for Nintendo.
No, well.
For Nintendo.
No,
yes.
It doesn't have to be. No.
I know it doesn't have to be. We were talking about Animal Crossing before, though.
Yes, but fucking don't worry about Animal Crossing right now. We're not talking about Animal Crossing. I'm just saying, like, to have an ecosystem like that would be wicked.
It would be. Yes,
you could,
yes,
your entry point could be either one, so a box or the handheld. And it's funny because this is going back like a while ago now that we were talking about a similar thing with the Wii U. But anyway, yeah, a box, a handheld, and you can buy either one to start with, and then you can buy the other one later and have that experience. And then on the box, you can have high resolution textures and make it the best game it can absolutely be, and that's cool, you know. And then just have like a standardized version for the Lite.
And where would the current Switch fit into that? That would just be.
I'm saying that is an all-in-one package.
There'd be a middle of the road, like
yes,
yeah. So
and make that the middle of the road.
Not super portable, even though it's still very portable.
It's very portable.
Yeah,
thank you very much.
Yeah, yeah. But
it's a lot more portable than like the suitcases you can get for your PS4 or Xbox One.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
So it is the middle of the road option. That's like, hey, look, you've got a portable, then you've got a portable or home, and then you've got a home. The home is the most powerful version of the console. You've got the middle version of the console, and then you've got the lighter version of the console.
Yeah, I can see that happening, and I'll buy one.
And then, look, I would switch my ecosystem to, like, if they could get an ecosystem working really nice, I would buy a Lite and then that. And then that would replace my Switch. And they would get more money out of me in that regard anyway. Because that for me, that setup, that honestly, I reckon works a bit better.
Yeah. Like a lot of people are talking about like the next model of the Switch, you know, just dubbing it the Switch Pro. Definitely won't be called the Switch Pro, but just imagining what the next step will be for it, like whether it will be like here's a lighter normal Switch, or it will be something completely different, like the box, you know, we've been talking about. Be interesting to see where they sort of move forward with the model. Yeah. And talking about games, what major sort of game or series you want to see come back? So obviously Zelda's one of your favorite series. Super keen for Breath of the Wild 2, but apart from that, what are you really keen for?
Depends on what we're talking here. Are we talking about just like
what we're talking here, boy?
Games throughout Nintendo's history that have been on consoles that have never seen the light of day again, or are we talking about Nintendo IPs? Or
we'll stick to Nintendo IP. It could be anything from a port or a brand new game, or it might even be like a genre that Nintendo doesn't touch much, and you want a new series in that genre.
I want something done about Dragalia Lost.
Oh, you want to see that come to the big old Switchy?
Not so. I'm not even sure if it's just like I would like to see that come to the Switch. And look, hey, it works because people have been playing it on their Android TVs, so there's no problem there. But what I think I want is it to not be stuck in mobile only hell.
Yeah.
Because yes, it is mobile. They announced it as a mobile only IP, but it is becoming a pretty big mobile only IP with a pretty good overarching story that I feel like deserves it's a Nintendo IP. It deserves a spot. They don't really have like a big old premiere like anime-esque fit, except maybe Xenoblade, but even then, you know,
it's Fire Emblem.
Oh, well, Fire Emblem as well. But something more action-oriented, I think, is probably the bigger thing for me.
Yeah, would you, like, obviously, probably a port of that exact game wouldn't be most ideal, but would you like to see, like, it
works.
Another game in that series, like another the IP?
I want to see that game, like, translated into something that's a little more fulfilling and doesn't have to be as updated, but it'd be nice if it still had like similar content. I would like to see that game transition into their Diablo.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So that would be cool. Yeah. So that's
because that's already how it kind of operates.
That is a genre, you know, Nintendo's missing. They don't have anything like that.
No. I would love to see that game transmute into like a Diablo-esque game.
Yeah. No, that's a great pick. I'll play that. Holy shit!
Well, because I played the shit out of it as it is, and like it's very basic, and the levels are kept really short so that they can be held up over mobile connection without any connection loss, because that's how most games like that are played. But like if you translate that into the Diablo formula, pretty it up, make it look nice, and then make like the maps bigger and stuff like that, and make it just like a real sort of experience like that. That would be awesome. And there is, there's over 150 characters in Dragalia Lost. They each have 5 story chapters, and then you've got a ton of dragons. They've all got background lore. It's so fleshed out. It's really fleshed out. They have Valentine's stories, events for a bunch of characters, Christmas stuff, everything. There's so much effort put into Dragalia Lost. It's only just cut voice acting. In the Japanese version, the story all the way up until now has been entirely voice acted.
All right, so they've just said, "All right, that's enough."
Yeah, because they can't afford to keep hiring voice actor constantly for it. But it's only just stopped being voice acted in Japan. It stopped in English a while ago because it was an extra effort. But the characters still get plenty of voice acting. That's Jed.
That's your phone. Yeah.
All good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want to say.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see like Nintendo jump into that sort of dungeon crawling Diablo like series.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. And that would be a great fit for it, just put that in it, and it'll draw more eyes towards, it sort of legitimize that series as well.
Yes.
Like I'm responsible for this too. I'm like, Nintendo, it's on the mobile. I'm not too worried type of thing. But people like yourself, and
it's really good.
Yeah, just really, really enjoy that game. Yeah. I'll probably go with something that I've said before, but Kid Icarus Uprising on 3DS was awesome. I know Sakurai's obviously he's being weighed down with all the Smash DLC Nintendo keep making him produce, but which I'm very happy about that. So don't take that the wrong way. But I'd love to see Kid Icarus come back in that sort of format. I don't know whether it needs to be a sort of on-rails shooter type of thing, maybe like a third-person game or something like that, a bit more adventure-based.
I actually kind of like it. I actually kind of like it how it is. A lot of people,
I do too.
A lot of people call it on rails, but I don't think it's on rails. It is level by level basis.
Parts are on rails, but there's bits where you go on the ground and run around and all that. But yeah, I'd love to see that game come back. I absolutely love the characters and just the voice acting, and the writing was fantastic. I just felt it was probably the most immersive handheld game I've ever played. Yeah, a lot of the times I'm like playing Pokemon, enjoying it and leveling up and playing RPGs, and whether it's Mario 3D World or like whatever it is. But with that game, that is a game I really put my headphones on and I was listening to every single word and just really enjoying it. And thinking back to it, like how much I was enjoying it, like on the original 3DS, the screen was so small. Yeah. And it's just like, but I can still remember it so well. So yeah, whether it's support or just preferably a new game in the series, I'd love to see it. And that's a game I don't have my hopes up too much because, yeah.
Unfortunately, he's a very busy man.
Yeah. I probably assume that the next Kid Icarus game wouldn't be directed by Sakurai, but yeah, I don't know who else would take it over at Nintendo either, really.
I don't know.
Whether, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whether, like, like the newer teams, like, they're, like, throwing ideas around and saying, like the guys who did Splatoon. So I don't know if, like, a team like that would take it over. I don't know. But yeah, we're sort of seeing like old IP, at least in recent years, like hasn't been sort of revisited as much. They went through a bit of a phase where it's like, the Punch-Out game on Wii U, Kid Icarus come back on 3DS. They were going back through some of their old IP. But they sort of stopped doing that again. It's, going back to, how it has been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apart from Splatoon in 2014. But it's even been 6 years since Splatoon 1 on Wii U. Like it's been been a while.
Again, it really depends on what your faction is in new IP, because the latest IP was Dragalia Lost. Yeah, and I know it's because it's on a mobile phone that it's sort of got less attention, but
yeah,
it has the potential to be more, and I think that's what's got me.
Yeah, no, I'll be happy if I saw that come up in the Nintendo Direct. I'll be like, Bryce will be happy.
I'll be very happy.
I'll give it a go. Let's have fun. Yeah. And just the rumors for a new Paper Mario game at the start of this year made me think, like, I knew, like, back to its roots Paper Mario would be a lot of fun. because like it's gone like it's gone a bit off the rails recently with like, changing the battle system to stickers and all that. I just want a back to basic, leveling up, using attacks.
Yeah.
Fantastic writing, fun story. Yeah, I want that again on Switch. Because I haven't played Thousand Year Door. I've only played the sort of more recent one, so I'd love to go back, and even a port of that would be a bit of fun. Yeah, he nods his head. Yes.
I don't have a huge connection to Paper Mario, but that's because I haven't played games like the Thousand Year Door.
I'm a similar way, but I'd just love to see like Paper Mario 64. Like that was just the writing was just really, really good. Like at the start when like the level rolls out and one of the toads gets stuck underneath the stage. Yeah. And like as you're going through the game, you're like, and like all the NPCs and that were like, what was that? Yeah. And like what it is, like, oh, you poor bastard. Yeah. How have you not died? All right, Bryce, I think that's wrapping up to the end. Yeah. Unless you have anything else to say?
No, I'm pretty good. We've been going at it for, what, 2.5 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours and about 10 minutes. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So, everybody, thank you very much for listening to the House of Mario episode 133. This was Bryce's return. Bryce, did you have fun, mate?
Yes, mate.
You had fun? Did you have fun talking to me for 2 hours?
Yep, but I need to stand up. Holy crap.
You stretch your neck, scratch your bum.
That's right.
Do a backflip.
Yep.
Embrace your, I don't know. So, guys, if you'd like to help the show out, be sure to subscribe to the show on your favourite podcast player of choice and set the show to auto-download so you never miss an episode and all of that fun stuff. And if you really enjoyed the show, go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc., and leave us a review. It really helps us out. And, to be honest, it makes my day when I read a review. Unless it's bad, then it probably ruined my day. Keep that in mind if you want to do a bad review. And if you have any friends that enjoy Nintendo, be sure to suggest it to them. We're a bunch of nerds as well, and they'll quite enjoy the show, I think. Bryce, do you reckon they'll enjoy the show? Someone brand new?
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Bryce has no doubt in his mind that they'll enjoy it.
Absolutely zero.
So if you feel a bit weird out there and you're like, oh, I don't know if I suggest it, they might not like it. They'll like it. Just suggest it to them. Yeah. And we have a Discord community. There is a link in the show notes below, an invite. And we have a really excellent Discord community. Bryce, you haven't been in there in a fair while. You got to get back in there.
I've been busy, mate. Yeah. Very busy.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, get back in there, my friend.
I'll get back in there when I'm actually settled. All right? Yeah. I haven't talked to a lot of people lately. So, yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not, it's not because I'm trying to be antisocial. It's just, at the moment, just need quiet time. Yeah. But I'll be back in there soon enough anyway.
You'll be back.
Yeah.
And
one step at a time.
Yes, one step at a time. Not too many steps, as otherwise you'll fall over.
You fucking trip, yeah.
Yeah. And you can find me on Twitter at iDruby, the show at the House of Mario. And Bryce, where can they find you?
At IVRevan on Twitter.
Awesome. And this week's Nintendo Jukebox, as I said before, is the Pokemon theme remix from the new Pokemon movie, Mewtwo Strikes Back, Evolved. It's quite good. I don't enjoy it quite as much as the original one, but this one's it made me smile when I heard it. So
yum.
Enjoy, and we'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, no. I had it right in the right place, but here we go. Catch you later.
mountain.